Hi, I'm Lars Christensen, and this is the Rocking Sailor Project. And what is the Rocking Sailor Project? You're right. It has something to do with ships, it has something to do with sails, it has something to do with the water, and it has something to do with rock and roll. Through many years I've been studying naval novels, and I've been fascinated by the brutal life of the plain sailor, who had to live a life struggling through outrageous conditions. Well, there is something about this period in history, especially the Napoleonic Wars and the English Navy's constant battle against this French dictator. The life aboard a man of war was not for pussies. Hundreds of men working, sweating, eating, shitting, and actually dying together under lousy conditions. The food was miserable, the pay was miserable, and the living conditions as a general were miserable. Now, these outrageous conditions, paradox, they created some wonderful music. On board every ship there was a musician. A sailor who had been wounded during battle or during the hard work. And if you couldn't become anything, you could always become the musician. And these lame sailors, they created some great music, the sea shanties. Now there are many different kinds of sea shanties. But it would be too nerdy to get around these details in a video like this. Instead I'll go right to business, because I need you. The world should know about these lost treasures. And indeed, many of the songs have been recorded. During the 60s and the 70s, a lot of folk groups took them into the studio and made them their own. But my idea is rock and roll, because the songs are raw and they are dirty. They are the music of the working man. So rock and roll would be the perfect medium to use. But I'm just a poor musician with a great idea. Now many of these songs have catchy chorus lines. You can't help singing along, and you actually go on remembering. Now who can't remember the old sailor, the drunken sailor, such as the My Bonnie is Over the Ocean? But have you ever heard this one? Long we tossed on the rolling main, now we safe ashore, Jack. Don't forget your old shipmate, Rally, 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 ride. Yeah, from the movie Master and Commander, that's right. But actually an old sea shanty from the 17th century. That's right. And there are hundreds. And I found them actually. There's a guy called Halton Clint who has collected all these songs and has recorded them on YouTube. Just standing there in his kitchen or in his garage, anywhere, and just singing them a cappella. It's very authentic and almost in tune. So I give my respects to Mr. Halton Clint. Thank you.
Waters roar, Jack. Long we tossed on the rolling main, now we're safe ashore, Jack. Don't forget your old shipmates. Rally, rally, rally,
Yeah, the song Don't Forget Your Old Shipmate. A great song, which I actually did record. You know, I read the books about Jack Aubrey and Stephen Maturin's adventures on board the ship, the Dear Surprise. And when the movie Master and Commander hit the screen, well, of course I had to see and watch the interpretation of these books into a modern media. And indeed, it's a great movie. But the lightning didn't really struck me until I saw this scene and heard this song from the party in the captain's cabin. And I thought, wow, this is actually rock and roll, or the energy of rock and roll. I can turn it into rock and roll. So I went into my little studio here and well, you can take a short brief look here.
Oh, were you ever in Santa Fe? On a hill, Lassie, Highland Lassie. Were you ever in Santa Fe? My bonny Highland Lassie.
And found some more sea shanties in order to combine the energy between the 17th century and the rock and roll music of our times. So here in this humble studio I created the sound and the universe of Rocking Sailor. And hooray, it actually worked. The simple songs, the raw energy of the simple songs and the power of rock and roll sure make some catchy music. It's made for headbanging, it's made for beer drinking, it's made for partying, and you can listen to it as well. But we need to share it with the world. This legacy cannot die. So please help me keeping it alive. Now let me tell you a little about the video plot. The song Don't Forget Your Old Shipmate tells us a story about two old shipmates who meet in the port tavern and takes a stroll down memory lane. While getting more and more drunk, we follow these two guys on the adventure back to the days of the wooden battleships. At one occasion, our main character, which is me, falls overboard and is heroically rescued by Jack, his old brave shipmate. In another clip, we witness the brutal and bloody venue of a battle scene where I help Jack getting medical care with a serious wound. But they both make it home and is celebrating the reunion at the tavern. And perhaps there's also something with some naughty girls.
Was there ever chummies now, such as you and I, Jack? Long we've tossed on the rolling main.
Some say that sailors carry the heaven within their soul. It's probably the sailors themselves who think that. But there is something mythological about the ocean. Who can deny that? But most of it is superstition. At least we think so in our days. But back in the 17th century, they didn't know much about natural science. They thought that the storms and everything bad on the ocean came from figures like the Kraken or the sirens of Lorelei or the Flying Dutchman. But nowadays we know better. But I guess that any sailor would try to sell his soul to the devil trying to round the Cape Horn. So there is some magic also in these tunes. And life was indeed black and white. Either you lived or you died. I believe that history makes us what we are. I believe that we all is a product of our forefathers and their tasks. And I believe that we all have some kind of torch to carry on, a kind of legacy. Now, a massive part of that torch or that legacy, for me, is the spoken word and the music. Now, music today has become consumption. That's okay. But music comes and music goes and is tomorrow forgotten. And that's why we had to do something about this great musical legacy of the sea shanty.
Long we've tossed on the rolling main, now we're safe ashore, Jack.
I mean, where would we be if the brave sailors and ship owners of the past hadn't done what they did, opening the world with trade, exploring and exploiting and warfare? Yes, I know that. But somehow we earn these brave men and especially the music our respect. Let rock and roll be the means and let me be the tool to make this project in all due respect and with humility.